Hello, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Here's a brief look at my newly promoted level 16 Norm Scott build. I am using it on the Tier 7 American Heavy Cruiser Baltimore. We're going to be on Two Brothers, Dos Hermanos, for this game. Gotta capture the base mode. I think Two Brothers is always capture the base mode in World of Warships Legends. I think on PC you can get Domination, and that might be interesting if they ever want to bring that to Legends. But this game is, in my opinion, a pretty interesting game for two reasons. Number one, because it is a good demonstration of how you should absolutely not play this map. So let's talk about that right now. You know, we have our team basically split between two flanks here. I am on, I guess, the leftmost flank, or the right flank, and then, you know, there's another flank out there in the opposite direction. And ideally, what both of these flanks should do is push out to the side or push out forward, depending on ship type. So I am going to take up a position between these two outcroppings of rock and try to get a line of sight on some enemy ships, maybe lay down some fire. My teammates, on the other hand, while it kind of initially looked like they were going to follow me down this way, are actually all turning around to completely abandon this flank before an enemy ship is even spotted and join the rest of the team on the other flank, which I don't think I have to explain why this is an atrocious, horrible move on their part, but I'm going to explain it anyway. There are at least 3 enemy ships that we can see over here. Probably more, and I am a single Baltimore. Now, in fairness, I do have a cruiser behind me that is kind of in a position to support me, and we hit the Helena there pretty hard for our opening salvo, but it's just me and that other cruiser against this Helena and 2 enemy battleships, one of which is an Iowa, and of course the Iowa can overmatch my Baltimore's 27mm bow armor, so I need to be careful when facing him. I'm now reversing, keeping this island between myself and the Helena, who looks content to shoot at my teammate, laying down more damage into the Helena, just trying to get him off the board as quickly as possible. Luckily, he's presenting a little bit of an angle, which makes it easier for my shells to penetrate and do full damage, and he goes down. Now, I think one of the battleships out there did hit me pretty hard, took out one of my turrets. Not really something that I want to have a repeat of. So, reversing out of danger now, and since my team has decided that they would like to completely abandon this flank for no reason whatsoever, I am not going to push up myself alone against an Iowa and whatever else that is out there. So, another Iowa. Yeah, I'm not pushing up against 2 Iowas. I'm going to take a little pot shot at the Iowa before I disappear around the island. Maybe I'll get a fire with the HE. Yeah, I do. He's probably going to put that out, so, you know, the value of that fire is pretty limited, but at least it happened. Probably going to take another pot shot at this Iowa out here, but maybe not, since his guns are pointed in this direction. Could be a good idea to wait for him to fire, or to be in position where I'll immediately disappear behind the island. So I take the shot right before I disappear. Still plane spotted, but I'm reasonably confident that neither of these battleships are going to be able to hit me. That Iowa does take a shot, but he misses. And now I notice an enemy cruiser is sailing down the channel. And this next sequence is I guess, the main event in this video, the other thing that makes this battle uniquely interesting, apart from my team's poor decision to just completely abandon this flank. But, you know, since they've done it, I'm not going to go down that flank. As I said, it's just suicidal. Instead, I'm going to try something different, and I'm going to sail up the middle here to meet this enemy cruiser, which is a Tier 6 American heavy cruiser, the Nolans, Baltimore's immediate predecessor on the tech tree. There's the Nolans, looking pretty good in his American camo. We hit him with HE. He is turning in to face us bow on, which is probably a good thing for him to do. And he's firing the correct shell type. I've got another video in the Baltimore that I'll probably put up tomorrow where I do a lot of cruiser v cruiser fighting. And there's some tactics for that I think people would find helpful, because most of the time when I'm in a situation like this, the enemy ship is not doing what this New Orleans is doing, and that is firing HE at me. Instead, they're firing AP and bouncing it off the 27mm bow armor, getting no damage. Meanwhile, I'm firing HE at them and getting a lot of damage. So anyway, New Orleans is coming in. I think he feels like he's going to lose this engagement, so he's going for the ram. I thought I'd be able to turn out there. Not so. Instead, I hit the New Orleans. He goes down, and I get a die-hard medal in a cruiser. Wow, who would have thunk it? A cruiser ramming a cruiser, and I get a die-hard medal. I have no idea how I survived that. Maybe the values of hit points being taken from you when you ram another cruiser in a cruiser are very different from the way it works in a battleship. I don't tend to ram people too often in my cruisers. Sometimes I do in battleships, and most of the time I die. So a die-hard medal in the Baltimore here, pretty special. Anyway, that clears out the middle channel here, so I am okay to sail up it and see what I meet inside of the enemy cap circle. My goal right now is just to put pressure on their cap, since the flank to the left of my ship has completely collapsed, and the enemy Iowas are pushing into our base. And we've got a Wichita there, did Citadel him, and then we hit him again toward the front of the ship for 5 overpens, which leads me to think maybe the Citadel positioning on the Wichita is a little bit further back on the ship. So I adjust my aim, miss the Citadel again, but do get 3 full penetrations, so that's decent. Trying to round the corner here, wait for him to appear. There he is. I aim more toward the rear of the ship, and this time I'm rewarded with another Citadel. So making quick work of this Wichita. He also is firing HE at my bow, which is not ideal for me, since he is actually doing damage. And it seems like it's pretty much the luck of the draw as to whether these shells are overpens or full penetrations. Somewhat annoying, a little bit unreliable, but we find his Citadel again. We are in pretty imminent danger of dying here. Need to finish off the Wichita before we do. And we do finish off the Wichita, earning the high caliber medal. 5 seconds left to go on that fire. Will it kill us? No, we have damage control, so we put it out. Now we are in the enemy cap, but the enemy is also in our cap. And we do have an enemy Wichita out there who is very aware that we are in his cap. And we only have 1,200 hit points, so no way we're going to be able to go toe-to-toe with this guy and survive. We're going to have to be a little bit more clever. So I'm turning around. I do have Gunichi Makawa, also level 16, as an inspiration on Norm Scott here, and I cannot overstate the value of concealment on cruisers, particularly on these American heavy and light cruisers. They already have good concealment values to begin with, and if you can get a level 16 Makawa on there as inspiration, you're going to find that you're outspotting pretty much every cruiser except maybe British cruisers with a concealment build. And that gives you a lot of room to just be sneaky and position yourself in such a way that hopefully you can get a shot off first. Now, I've decided to go back down the channel. Didn't feel like I'd be able to make it around the island over there to my right before the enemy Wichita got in range to spot me. So instead, I am exiting the cap circle in the way I came. My presence on the cap circle for as long as I was on it made it so that the enemy team completely stopped accruing points. And we are in a pretty good situation. They've got 3 ships left. We've got 6. So we outnumber them 2-1. But I am basically dead. And I can't go forward because there are 2 Iowas in our base just sitting there. They were allowed to go in there uncontested since my team decided that the other side of the map was the correct place for every single one of them to go. And then there's a Wichita behind me, so I can't go forward, can't go backward. Wichita is radaring me. He doesn't have a shot on me yet because of the island, and it seems like maybe he popped his radar a little bit too early. So I'm no longer detected, but I've counter-radared him, and he is detected. And this is going to allow me to get a shot on him. And maybe, if I'm lucky, it will kill him. If I'm unlucky, it won't kill him, and then he'll kill me. So, moment of truth. Yeah, it's a decent hit, but not enough to take him down. And I am not quite fast enough to get away from his return salvo, so I go down. Too bad. But, there's still 5 friendly ships versus 2 Iowas and that Wichita, which is on low health in the enemy cap. So, how bad could things possibly go? Well, there are some torpedoes headed the way of this particular Iowa. Looks like they are all going to miss. And honestly, I'm really not sure what my team has done this entire game. Certainly nothing too terribly useful. And believe it or not, despite our advantage on ship count, now the enemy team has closed the ship count to only 1 kill. And since that Iowa is still on our base, we are no longer passively accruing any points. The only way we're going to get any points is if somebody sinks one of these Iowas, or maybe the enemy Wichita. Got a very low health Bismarck here with his back against an island. He is shooting at the Iowa, but he's not going to be around for much longer. Even one good salvo that penetrates his superstructure from either of these guys is going to take him down. Got the other friendly Bismarck being brave, pushing in. His guns are, in my opinion, not aimed at the optimal target, which is the Iowa out there to his port side that is giving him flat broadside. He is also giving that Iowa flat broadside. Concentrating all his fire on the Iowa in the base, which, I understand he's trying to reset him, but it's not working out too well for him. His turtleback armor does appear to save him from extremely catastrophic damage, but it seems like all the ships are shooting at him right now. Got a friendly Miyoko trying to engage the Wichita, not working out super well for him. He's lit on fire twice, damage cons it. Trying to hit that Wichita, not doing a whole lot of damage, and it looks like maybe the Wichita has switched to AP against him. Now, there are only 50-some seconds left in this match. the point situation is still close. Maybe this Miyoko can take down this Wichita and put us ahead on points before time expires. I'm not entirely sure if that would be enough, but he is giving an unhealthy amount of broadside to the Wichita, and one of the Iowas takes down the Bismarck, so pretty much no hope in winning this match. Maybe the Miyoko will avenge me, though, before time runs out. No. So this is a loss, and if you're going to take anything from this video, let it be my advice on how not to play Dos Hermanos here. Don't abandon one of the flanks and just concentrate all your efforts on a single side of the map. 9 times out of 10 you're gonna lose, as we did here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't done that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.